time
Okay,
is it? Is it the morning? Is it? I don't even know what time it is.
so so I'm at the networking event. And so this is, mind you, a networking event for the GE Greenville like women's network. Like they call them affinity groups, but they're like employee resource group type things. So we're at this brewery doing like this outside because COVID, just like networking event. And so we're all just like standing there and talking. And then this like random man who's probably like 50 years old walks up to us and was like, I was dared to come over here by the guys at that table over there, so I'm here. And we're like, I'm just standing there like, are you kidding me right now? Like, what on earth is this? And so then like this other guy walks over, and so basically they're all just like, except for the old guy who's like the finance guy, they're all salespeople for this company that's like a solar company, like commercial residential solar energy, trying to like start like a little outlet in Greenville, and so they're here to like scope it out or something. So they're like trying to sell us solar panels, and we're literally like at like a green like we're doing like a networking event, like we're all female engineers, and these salesmen are like, I'm gonna sell you a solar panel right now, and like weirdly flirt with like the one single like 30-year-old lady. And it was just weird because they were like half of them were married, and it was just so weird. But they open with, and so this is like more bad now that like it was explained to me. But they open with, yeah, like we went to this restaurant called like, I don't know what it's called, like Buck's barbecue restaurant, and they were like, the women were so friendly. It's not a barbecue restaurant. It's like a strip club fronting as a barbecue restaurant. Apparently this building is like all cinder block, like no windows. And this is what they open with. Like talking about going to a strip club to a group of female engineers. And they think that this is gonna go well. It was so bad. They were like, let us buy you like your beers, like for like putting up with us, like we're gonna buy like your beers and stuff. And then at some point we finally managed, or at least the people I was talking to, we finally managed to like lose them. They like wandered off somewhere else to go bother other people. And then they like send pretzels over to us. They're like, we ordered pretzels, like eat the pretzels. And like if you want a beer, like get a beer. Then they were like, come do karaoke with us after this. And I was like, oh my gosh. These are like 30 something, maybe 40 something year old men. And it was just so crazy.
So you went to the karaoke.
No, I did not go to the karaoke. But I met one of the like high level engineers that I like went to this other like women's event, and it was like the high level engineering women talking about like being a high level engineering woman and like how they got their positions and like the work they do. And I met her in person, and she was like, ping me and like we'll talk. Ah, she's so cool.
You're already moving up, and you barely started.
I'm networking. And she went to Georgia Tech, so that was like pretty neat. She was like literally getting on like a Zoom call because she's like high level and has to do like a bunch of calls and stuff, sometimes even in the evenings. I think she works with teams. I know she at least works with a team like in Poland or something, so I'm sure she works with other teams around the world. But you have to take weird times for meetings. But yeah, that's my story. It was good.
This is the Experience podcast with me and someone else.
It's Elizabeth. I'm back. Chaotic as ever.
Back. It's been like 8 hours since we were supposed to start this episode.
Been
I
15
fell
minutes.
asleep 3 times. I don't have plans, so it was fine. I didn't mind.
No, I really didn't think it would go so long, but I was like, I
I
can't
did
just.
get, yeah, I got a call to come into work, but I didn't go in because of this podcast. No, part of the business
Did you really get a call to go into work?
for tonight, yeah, but I didn't want to go.
But why would you have to go in if you're not on that shift?
Any coverage. If you're not on that shift, that's who they call to come
Oh, I
in.
guess that's who they call to fill in.
Yeah, they gotta call someone.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Anyway, this week we're just talking about networking, I guess. Um,
Wait, we don't have to just
no, we're talking about networking.
talk about networking?
You've you've done a lot of it.
Okay.
Um, what was the, that's a podcast question. I'll find that question. It was like, is networking just complicated small talk? Is that what the question is?
What was that from the
Yeah, it's
random
from the game.
questions from the
Yeah, it's from
questions
the
game?
game. I think that's the question.
It kind of is random small talk. I mean, with one of the ladies, I was just talking about like restaurants she'd been to in Atlanta because she was in the same program that I'm in now, and so she did one of her rotations with the Atlanta office. So, Daniel, tell me about you. What have you been doing to network?
I don't really network. That's the thing. I feel bad because I can't contribute to this. I did networking, a couple summers ago. I did a bunch of networking, but I wouldn't even consider that networking. Um, but not in my current job do I do any networking. It's not really that kind of a job. You just kind
Yeah.
of do it, and then like, what are your goals here for this networking?
Well,
What are
I
the
mean, my main goal, like the reason I went was just because I'm very new to the company and wanted to start plugging in with like this women's group to have something to be involved in outside of work. And I wanted to meet the other female engineers because I mean I know a couple who are on my team or on the team that like sits in our same area, but there's a lot of other buildings on campus. So, and a lot of people are still kind of remote because of COVID. Like a lot of people don't come into the office every day unless they need to be in one of the physical shops.
do you go into the office every day?
Hmm. Yep, I go in every day. I don't always end up in the shop, but it's a lot more helpful for me to go in because the type of work that I do requires me to know lots of information that is hard to just get off of like a drive or something with documents. So I have to go ask people.
And you don't mind the commute work?
No, I mean it's like 14 minutes.
Pretty good. We had a another guest on this show complain about their commute to work. They go in twice a week for about
Well,
a
it's
20-minute drive, like 20 minutes, I think.
I don't know, I don't mind it. Normally on like the way home I talk to my parents.
Every day?
Yeah, I've just kind of gotten in the habit of calling them and I'm like, what you doing? And they're like, we're making dinner because that's what we're always doing when you
Just
call.
it's the same time every day.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean it's like pretty much, but like I'll just check in with them. Like my mom is having like a back procedure tomorrow, so I wanted to talk to them. Go talk to them on the way to the networking event. Because sometimes I'll stay on the phone with them for a little bit after I get home. Like one day I called them when I was leaving Costco and then talked to them until I finished like because I bought a bunch of ground turkey, so then I had to like separate it out into like the weights that I wanted. And so I like talked to them the whole time while I did that. It took like an hour.
An hour to separate ground turkey?
Well, it was from leaving Costco, bringing all my groceries up, putting them away, and then
Okay, all right.
prepping and then separating. Plus, it took me longer because I was talking and doing, so then I like didn't want, you know, multitasking brain.
I know it's
Dude,
tough for you sometimes. Um,
are your headphones like tan?
I think
Yours
it's
are-
called olive green.
Oh, this lighting makes it look kind of tan.
It might be a weird, because it's like a yellow light. I wanted to replace this light, but I don't know how to remove like the
Hmm.
cover. It's
It also
basically
could be, I think my computer goes on night mode at like 8:30 or something, so that probably is also it, because it like puts it like a reddish tint to
that
everything.
could be.
Reddish yellow, maybe? So that could very much be it. Oh, I'm so excited I got to talk to such a high level engineer. That was very cool. And
Sorry,
then
it looks
there's
like
once, hmm?
we got Zoom bombed.
Oh yeah, somebody, what were, those were just like random letters.
Well, it was HTML layout
Oh,
spelled out. I don't know what happened. I kicked them out. For our listeners,
yeah, for the
uh,
listeners who aren't that.
user, I guess I should call it, joined. Oh, but I kicked them out. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, they
Didn't know
don't
that
want
was possible
like
on Blue
networking
Jeans.
adventures.
They don't want to hear about that.
No. Like
I'm
unless
sure there are networking opportunities for me, but I don't know what I would be networking toward. Like I don't know what the goal would be.
mm-hmm.
Like I meet plenty of people. There's probably like union things that I could do.
Yeah.
I just have
Well,
no
if you
interest.
started to network, then you'd like if you like went up, you'd end up in an office, right?
That'd be
Or is
pretty
that
high up.
more like a lateral shift to the office?
If anything, that would be a downgrade to go to an office.
Oh.
Like I could go to engineering, a different department, and
Mm-hmm.
that would be like an office. Or I'd have to get like really high up to get an office job in my
Mm-hmm.
department. So
Gotcha. Well, you could start networking your way up. It's been like a year or so.
that's, by really high up, I mean like the director
Well, yeah,
level.
I figured that's what you meant. But like, you could start networking with people and be like, managerial track?
Yeah,
Because
I
that
guess
doesn't
that could
really.
help. Like becoming a supervisor, I guess you would maybe want to start networking. But
Yeah. Or at least just tell people. Tell the right
that'd be
people that you're interested.
the problem is the supervisors at my plant, or maybe in the industry. I don't know. I don't know how specific it is, but they get like beaten down, like they get way overworked, that sort of stuff.
Mm. Yeah, then maybe you don't want that.
They're basically like I said tonight. They called me to come in tonight, and I said no. If I
Mm-hmm.
was a supervisor, they would call me and say, 5:30, be there. Yeah, you're coming in.
Mm. I see.
You lose some freedoms.
Well, they'd be calling you in to do supervisor job, not like the job that you do now, right? Or will they call a supervisor in to fill in?
No, no, it'd be a supervisor job, but the supervisor is supervising my job.
Right.
Still an on shift. It'd still be high to be on shift.
Mm-hmm.
Again, unless you get really high up.
Yeah.
Anyway, no other new networking events coming up. This is a networking podcast.
I think that there might be, I mean, I don't think it's like a networking explicit event. There's a like, I think like the next women's network event is going to be like a hiking event. We're going to go hiking nearby. So I think that'll be nice. So it's like kind of networking, but more so just kind of hanging out and doing things. I don't have
With
anything
the
other like,
same,
I don't think I have anything else on my calendar right now. I don't know where my GE phone's over there, so that would require me to get up to get to it. So
Thursday night too, I guess. Well, I guess they don't want to do it on a week.
yeah, it seems like they do like a lot of ones after work. I had a couple like work friends who had a networking event last week or the week before. Was trivia last week? I don't know. There was like a trivia event, and so they had to like go to that and then go to trivia.
Well, it's like a whole thing. And then tonight you could have gone to karaoke, which, we've already
Okay, but I
covered.
was not going to karaoke with those weird men.
Could have met some other weird men, which is networking adjacent.
Yeah, it's just like he kept trying to sell me solar panels, and I was like, you're talking to me about solar panels, and I could probably tell you more of the technical specs of the solar panel than you could tell me right now. And
Yeah, but
also,
he was gonna
I
get you
also
a drink.
I can't put a solar panel in this.
I had like a solicitor come, this was probably a year ago, ask me about like energies, or like they were trying to, I don't even know what she was trying to sell. Like,
Hmm.
she was trying to get information on my energy use, things like that. Then she was talking about other things, and it got to the point where I was like, this is a terrible anecdote because I can't even remember most of it. But yeah, she was just soliciting like my energy use. At one
Was
point,
she
she
like
was like, "Well, this
like which appliances you use the most or something?
no." Like, basically, I asked her like, "Do you work for the supplier in this area is called National Grid?" I was like, "Do you work for
Hmm.
National Grid?" She's like, "No, we don't. I work for this other third party organization that monitors energy use and whatever." Um, and then she said something along the line. But anyway, they got to the point where I was like, where she was like, "Do you, we have to deal with we do interact with like the suppliers and all that." And I was like, "Well, I'm the supplier. Like I work for the supplier."
Yeah,
Like, "Well, oh, okay, bye."
interesting.
I don't know. Actually, it was. I had her. We were talking for like 10 minutes, probably too
Yeah.
long.
Our energy provider here is called Duke Energy. I don't know. That's all I
They have a lot of nuclear too.
know. Yeah. All I know is that I pay them money for electricity. But I did know that they had nuclear because they sent me an email about it.
Oh, are you in like a evacuation radius
No, it was just like, we use nuclear power. Yay, green energy.
propaganda thing?
No, I don't think I'm within some radius because I mean, I'm pretty close to downtown Greenville, so like I don't think they could put a nuclear plant this close to there.
I don't know how far. Yeah, I have to look that up. But they're a pretty big company in the southeast, mainly like the Carolinas, I think.
Yeah, that's something I kind of. Also, the other thing that was super weird to me that those random guys said, they were like, yeah, like we're here because it's like an underserved market for solar in South Carolina. And I was like, I know for a fact that there's a company called Carolina Solar that works on like surveying land and proposing projects and like reaches out to landowners to be like, would you consider having solar panels? And I think that's more for commercial, not so much residential, but still.
It is interesting. You're soliciting solar panels at a public place?
Yeah. Well, they're like getting ready to like they're like just visiting, I guess, to set up their satellite office, and they're just going to be like renting space from some other company in their office until they, I guess, get everything set up to like buy their own brick and mortar place. But I don't know, it was very weird.
Is it a new company?
No, they're based out of Cincinnati, and apparently they're
Great.
like established in Cincinnati, and they decided to come to Greenville.
Next time, bring them on the podcast, and we'll
Okay.
figure this out. Yeah.
You gotta bring them on so that they can explain everything. I couldn't
Maybe
get
they'll get
past
us pretzels or
opening
whatever.
with we went to the strip club line.
Hey, some people are into that. It's,
But like opening to like a group of women, haha, we went to a strip club. The women were really friendly. Like, I don't know.
maybe it was supposed to be like a pro-woman thing, like
Yeah, I guess that could have been in their mind being like, yeah, women.
some weird way. Yeah,
Yeah. In like a weird adjacent way, you're like, I'm supporting women being confident in their own bodies and sexuality.
exactly.
Wow.
It's really anti-woman of you,
That's true.
not support their support,
I just
not
can't
to
get over the
appreciate
fact
their
that it's like
efforts.
a pretend barbecue restaurant.
Yeah, that I also don't understand. But it's not like they just have, famous wings or something
Well, it's like
along those
they like
lines.
serve barbecue, and one of the ladies was like, yeah, like no one would go there to get barbecue because it's not really a barbecue restaurant, so like it's not good.
I mean, any food at a strip club can't be good.
Yeah, unless you're at the Cheetah. What's it called? Allure? Is that what the restaurant there is called?
Starts with an A. I don't know.
I don't know. I walked by it so many times, like walking back from
Yeah,
Publix, and I can't remember the name. But
I think it's a lure. Yeah. Apparently the food's good there. Again, I've never.
yeah, once again, I'm not gonna go find out.
Doesn't seem interesting.
No,
Um,
not great. All
anything
right,
else going on?
trying to think.
Not
Anything else
related to strip
exciting?
clubs.
Well, I just booked a trip to Disney World, so that's gonna be fun. Going to
When are we
Disney,
going?
March 7th and 8th.
I
For
can't
sure.
go.
Yeah, I mean it's like during the week. I had to
For
take.
just for 2 days?
Well, I mean like those are the days I took off. Like I'm leaving that Friday.
Is that oh, okay. That's a Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So like I'm leaving Friday and then yeah. I think that'll be fun. I'm very much
You're allowed to,
looking forward to it.
you're taking vacation so early into your job.
Yeah, I was like kind of on the fence about it, but this was like the best time to go. Um, because I can't take a vacation later because we have a design review that's coming up in May. So I figured I was like, if I'm gonna go, I need to go now while like it's not crunch time.
Probably gonna be not very crowded too.
Yeah, I hope it won't be. That should be
To
good, I
me,
think. I
it
don't think
should
like
be
the spring break.
pre-spring break,
Yeah, I don't think
which
that
is
they'll have started yet. Or maybe it'll be like just like a couple schools, maybe. Um, so I mean, yeah, I think that'll be good. I like the way time off works is they're just like, yeah, you just like ask for time off and then you get it. So,
I think that's how most time off works.
well, there's not like a set
Whereas
number of days. Like I'm like,
it's
hey, you need
unlimited.
to take some time off, and they're like, okay. Like my technical leader for my team is leaving tomorrow, and then he's gonna be gone from tomorrow all next week, doing like a trip. I think he's going to Colorado, go skiing with his wife.
It's unlimited paid time off.
Maybe?
Uh,
I don't know. They call it permissive time off.
time off. Every company calls it something different.
But yeah, no, it's just like you just ask for your time off. So, mm.
What are you gonna do at Disney World? Are you going to all
Yes, gonna
the
go to all four
kingdoms?
parks. The main things that I want to go to, the Star Wars world, the Pandora world from the Avatar movie. That's an animal kingdom, and I haven't been to that. It's been a long time since I've been to Disney. So like they've built, I think just Star Wars World and Pandora are the new ones, and then I can't remember what they tore or what they if those were one of the two they put up when they tore down like the Mickey Toontown whatever it was that had like Goofy's Barnstormer and like set up like houses. Um, and then I think Toy Story World might have added a new ride since I last was there. But I like to play the Toy Story Mania one, where like it's like the like you like shoot at targets and like you like drive through like the course. It's
Sounds
kind of just
familiar.
like it's like the Men in Black ride at Universal, but it's just like Toy Story themed. There's like a bunch of rides like with the same kind of like the premise is the same. They just changed the theme. You just sit in it, and there's like, X number of people in the car, and you just aim your like little shooter at all the targets to get points.
Yeah, I think.
But it's like you like ride through. It's like you're on a track, and sometimes like you'll spin and turn to different sides. So
It's not
kind of
really
cool.
a Toy Story thing, though. They're kind of cheating there a little.
Yeah, it's like they made it like a Toy Story like game as well that I think that you could like buy and play. But you're like, like in the cart, and then like you go through like all like the different levels from like different themes from Toy Story.
Hmm.
But it's been, like I said, a long time since I wrote it. Last time I wrote it was with like my whole family, which was very fun. I liked that ride a lot, so I think that'll be fun. And then I really like the golf ball ride in Epcot, like the one inside. I don't think it's actually a golf ball, but like the big thing that looks like a golf ball. I
It's
like
not
that
a golf
ride.
ball. Okay.
And then obviously
It's
Space
like the
Mountain.
yeah.
Yeah. And then I want to ride, I'll probably want to ride It's a Small World. I'm kind of on the fence about it because I've ridden it a bunch.
Do you?
The
Yeah. I
line's only super long.
don't think it's worth it.
Probably not. There is like another like smaller version of It's a Small World in the Mexican restaurant in Epcot. They have like a little tiny like boat ride like in the restaurant. Um, so maybe I'll do that one. I've always liked that one. I feel like a lot of people don't know about that one because like you only like I mean unless you like happen to know about it beforehand, like you wouldn't think, "Oh, I'm gonna walk in this restaurant to ride a ride."
Because there's not many rides in Epcot.
Yeah, no, there's not. I mean, the whole big thing with Epcot is, just like going around the world. It's like the cultural experience. When I was little, they had this like thing that you would do where you would get this like stick. I don't know. It was like a stick with like a mask on it, and then you would like decorate your like little mask, and then you'd like go around to all the countries, and you would get like a little tag to put on your mask from each country when you like completed the activity. I had one of those with like all the different tags from all the countries from when we would do Epcot. But I always liked going to Japan because they had a bunch of Hello Kitty merch in their store. Priorities, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you not like Hello Kitty?
I sure.
Why'd you say it like that? Do you like the Gute Dama? Like the lazy egg? Do you know? Do you
I,
know Gute Dama?
uh,
Wait, look it up. Look it up. It's really good. It's just like a little egg. Kind of funny.
look it up. I don't know if I've seen this before.
They like make all kinds of merch with that little egg on it.
Seems like a very merchandise friendly thing.
Hmm. Yeah. I'm not sure if there's like a short type of thing, like a short show or
Yeah.
where Gutadama came from, but there's a lot of merch. Like Pusheen, the cat. I'm gonna have to look this one up too.
Look, all these.
Okay, you have to pick the topic next time, or for our next segment of conversation, so that the people will know what I'm talking about. Since apparently I'm
Uh,
picking very weird things to talk about that are very obscure.
uh, uh, okay, we'll move on. We'll move on to something else. Yes.
Do you have any plants? Do you grow any plants in your apartment?
Funny thing, I was kind of looking like I don't know if I could do a plant, like
Hmm.
an indoor plant. Like, what kind of indoor plant would I be able to have?
I have a little indoor plant that I'm growing. It's like a little baby. Um, I got it from my friend who had the like mother plant and it like produced a bunch of like little saplings. And so this is my baby plant that I'm growing.
Okay.
It's he called it a friendship plant. And so it's just like a little guy. And so it has like leaves and then like this one right here is like kind of dead looking because it's about to fall off because it grows like a trunk. So like as the trunk grows, it kills off the bottom leaves and then grows new ones at the top. But it's
So
still very much like a little sapling. So once it gets bigger, then it'll just like have a bunch of leaves all at the top. But right
what
now it's
are
not
the
big enough.
sunlight requirements?
I think it's like medium sunlight. I just open my blinds during the day, although I forgot to open my blinds this morning, but it still seems fine.
I think I'd
This
have
is
to
the
get
first
even like a
plant that got
succulent.
like, brutally murdered, so.
Yeah, I feel like I'd murder plant. I just don't get enough sunlight because I'm on the first floor.
Well, I feel like a succulent needs even more light than like my little plant right now does.
Yeah, and I don't really have like a, well, I guess I have a window. I could leave the blinds open, but
But if you're on the first floor, you don't really want to leave your blinds open.
yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm on the third floor. Technically, it's the fourth floor, but the second floor is the ground floor. So, however you want to interpret that.
I I could get a fake plant. I was
I
looking at
have a
some
fake
fake
plant.
plants.
I have a fake one on my desk. Although it doesn't look very real because it's like fuzzy, kind of like felt, but it's cute. I have that and some hand sanitizer and this little like I think it's supposed to be a business card holder, but I got to do like weld and braze training, which was really fun. I really enjoyed welding. And so we got to do some welds on that and then braze it and then now it's on my desk.
Do you have a business card now?
No, I don't know if I'll end up getting one because I kind of feel like the business card is kind of dead. But
I think it's more of a joke at this point.
like I don't want to get one like while I'm in Edison because I'm only going to be in Edison for 2 years and I rotate my position every 6 months, so it just have to be a very generic business card. And
You have to
then
be
after two
name.
years, it won't mean anything because then I won't be in
Be,
Edison anymore and I'll afford into a role.
let's be Elizabeth, engineer.
Elizabeth the engineer. That's it.
Yeah,
And then like a
that's it.
picture of my face.
No, you don't even need that because that could change.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Nothing. Just 3 words. Elizabeth the engineer. No
Yeah,
contact information.
people figure it out. They'll figure it out.
Yep. You're like, you'll find me if you need me.
Yeah. So when are you moving to upstate New York? Well,
So I don't know. I think in April or May, I'll find out my next assignment, like where I'll
well,
go.
we'll get an apartment in between.
So I, yeah, because my plans to go to like the New York location will either be for the next rotation or my last rotation because I don't want to move up there in January. I'd rather like start in the
Oh,
summer and then ease into the winter.
for 6 months, right?
Yeah.
Is it 6 months?
Yeah, it's 6 months. So like my next one will be in like late June, early July, I think.
Summers are hot up here.
That's what I've heard, but I would rather
They're
start with the heat than like -5 and an ice storm
not going to be -5 in an ice storm. It'll be like +5
in an ice storm. I was listening,
Summer is
I've
pretty good.
befriended one of the Edisons who's like one class ahead of me, and she just got back from Schenectady, and she was like, the day I left, there was an ice storm. So,
You just get used to it.
but I feel like it would be easier to get used to it if I like went through fall. You know, like the whole thing that would be worth it up there would be to go through fall
Yeah, yeah,
and
no.
then go
It would
apple
definitely be better.
and have
It would
apple
be
cider
better.
donuts. Because I've never had an apple cider donut now that I think about it.
Is that a thing? I see that in the grocery store all the time.
Apparently that's a thing. Some ladies at the networking event were talking about apple cider donuts.
They look fine, I guess. Okay, I'll get
Yeah,
it. I
they
don't know.
just
Is
look like
that,
a regular, they look like one of those like cinnamon sugar donuts.
yeah, they look like what you would expect an apple cider donut to look like.
Yeah,
But
it's like
is that
apple
just
cake.
just like a fall thing?
I mean, it's bigger in the fall because that's when it's apple season. So then you can like go to the
Yeah.
orchards and they have fresh apple cider donuts and you can go pick apples and then you can get apple cider or like apple cider slushies. At least in the ones in Georgia, you can get the slushies. I always liked those because it was always warm when we went apple picking still.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, okay, I guess well, you'll get them when you're here in the fall, presumably.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they might be year round. I feel like it just would feel more special if I got it during apple season in New York.
Yeah.
So, do you have any hobbies? Anything new that you're doing? Exciting?
I feel like I get fewer hobbies as I've gotten older. Got back pain. I guess that's
Why do you have back pain?
I don't know what happened. I think
You
well,
standing
when
at
I was
odd
up to
angles, doing repair on things?
okay, I don't do repairs, but probably lifting heavy stuff. Probably
You're not lifting
stuff
with
like
your
that.
legs?
Doesn't matter when it's like 220 pounds
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
at that
That's
point.
pretty huge. Why are you lifting something that heavy?
It's a whole thing. It's
That's like, at my work, I don't even think we're allowed to lift something if it's more than 50 pounds.
oh, we're not supposed to lift it with more than 50 pounds. You didn't hear that from me. We had to move some barrels. We're not like lifting it. We're moving the barrels
I see. Yeah,
by
because you
hand.
really should not be lifting something that heavy.
It's like pushing. Still not easy. On not like easily slidable. Anyway, um, I think you need a spotter for over 50. I think you need two people and like a spotter. So it's always a whole safety thing. But
Mm. I think over 50 for the most part, they just end up using cranes.
it would have been nicer. That's what there's a controversy. They're pushing to use the crane, but then the people that were going to use the crane didn't want to use the crane. We had to move them by hand.
Mm. Like a whole thing just to
Yeah.
move a barrel.
Well, there were 50 of these.
That's a lot of barrels. How far did you have to move them?
Well, we had to move them. Let's see. I guess probably about 100 feet to the elevator, then take them up the elevator, and then around a bunch of corners, another 100 feet where they had to go.
Hmm. Then I guess you can't really put it on a crane because you wouldn't be able to get the crane in the elevator.
No, there's a crane. Instead of going to the elevator, you could just go to the
Oh, like you
open
could just use
area
the
where the
crane
crane
and
goes.
pull it up.
Yes, yes. They could have
Oh,
easily used the crane, which I think they're going to try to do next time. But
that
a lot of
feels
paperwork.
slightly more efficient, but maybe it's not. I don't
Um, yeah, and there's just a lot of tight corners to get it into the elevator and
know.
that. You get an elevator shaft and all these.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that was a while ago though. I don't know what happened to play back recently.
Mm.
Yeah, when you get of a
Maybe
certain age,
old.
yeah, when you get a certain age,
Full 25 years old.
body starts breaking down.
Practically 90.
I'm practically 90.
How it is at this point. Get old.
Well, you'll find out pretty soon.
Yeah, but I'll say I'll be 25 this year. Scary.
Well, you've accomplished so much, like
Networking.
networking, the future plans that are important.
Yeah.
Um,
I did get my master's degree in the mail, so that was kind of fun.
in the mail, I
Well,
guess.
like
Yeah,
they mail you the diploma.
yeah.
Yeah, so it finally came.
I
It's
almost
been a lot
lost. Actually,
later, I feel like, than it was for undergrad, but I guess that's because it was in December.
I don't think I ever opened my. I think
Did
it's
you
still
ever
in
open it?
the tube. I think it's still in the tube.
I framed my undergrad. My master's is still in the tube because I didn't want to pull it out because I don't have a frame
See,
for it yet.
you did the same thing. What do you? I guess for me, it's been like a year and a half.
Yeah, I mean, my parents were like, you should get a separate frame and frame them both. But I was like, I could just put it on top of the other one in the same frame. I don't know.
Have like two. You should need like a sliding thing so you can slide them back and forth.
Yeah, so I can be like, which one do I want to look at today?
My problem is like, where do you have it framed? Just on your wall?
Yeah, well, I mean, both of my parents have their degrees hung on like a wall in our house, so that's just where mine went. I don't have it here.
Yeah, like I don't know where I would even put this. Like I would frame it, but then I don't know where to. I just
Yeah.
put it on my wall.
The
It
Georgia
feels
Tech
weird.
diplomas are really large, I
Yeah, a
feel
little
like,
big.
compared to some of the other schools. So, like, it's a really big frame to hang. And, I mean, I don't have, like, my own cube with, like, big enough walls to hang it there. That feels like a little excessive.
Yeah, I don't even have an office, so
I mean, yeah, I don't have an office. I have, it's like an open space cubicle type thing, but there's, like, not cubicles, it's just, like, dividers, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Which is kind of nice, and also kind of not nice. They sit at the top of the stairs, and today two different people asked me for directions, and I was not helpful for either of them because one of the people was asking for someone who wasn't in the building, and the other person asked for someone I hadn't met yet.
Are you like the secretary, or you just?
And apparently that's what they think I am because I sit right at the top of the stairs and like only like so there's kind of four, it's like a little cube area. And no one sits next to me right now because of COVID. The person who sits next to me sits elsewhere. She like moved her desk to like this conference room space. And then there's no one across from me, so the only other person is the person diagonal, and he's not often at his desk. So it's just like me by myself, right at the top of the stairs. I guess I look friendly enough that people are like, let me ask her all these questions. And then I felt bad because the one person who I didn't know who that guy was looking for sits really close to me. I had just never met him before. But he
Oh
wasn't there
wow,
when the people
go
showed up.
go. It's probably in a different building.
Yeah. Well, the one guy was like in a very different building. It was like 3 buildings away. So I don't know how he ended up in our building, but kind of weird. Corporate life.
Corporate life.
Getting close to my bedtime.
Okay, we can wrap it up unless there's something else you wanted to cover.
Oh, I was just figuring out when I wanted to go to bed. I don't know, what else? Do you want to talk about something else?
Uh,
You're the host.
I don't have anything else to cover.
Okay.
I think talked about networking. That was the first. That was
Leave the
that.
good people with some life advice. Don't go up to random people at networking events and tell them you went to a strip club. Not a good opener.